Hello everybody, it is Mrs. Hamilton here. As you probably know, I have a book to read today, and I also have something fun for us to do at the end of the book. So the book that I'm going to read, you probably are recognizing the cover right now because this is a story that we got to read in class together, and you guys really liked it because it was kind of a silly story about this mouse that he just goes and does a bunch of different things while having some cookies and milk, which are delicious too. So this book is called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. So let's go ahead and read this one. It's a good one. I really like it. If you give a mouse a cookie, are you remembering? He's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in the mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks in the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim, so he'll probably ask you for a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep it up. He'll start sweeping, and he might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. Have you ever done that? Can you make a connection there? Have you ever went and swept a bunch of rooms in your house? He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillows a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. Do you guys like reading stories before you lay down too? My daughter Joella does. So you'll read to him from one of your favorite books, and he'll ask to see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited that he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. Do you guys like drawing pictures? When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang up his drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. Okay, you might remember that one. That one was a fun one. Well, today I have a picture I'd like for you to draw with me. So go ahead and grab your paper or whatever you use to write on. Maybe you can use that journal that you got. That would be a good idea to have this story in there. So go ahead and grab that and grab a pencil. Pause this video if you don't have that stuff quite yet. I'm gonna use a marker and a white piece of paper. You can use whatever you have around your house to write with too. Maybe you just have crayons, maybe you just have a pencil, whatever you've got. I would love for you to grab that and draw this picture with me. Now the picture we're gonna draw is a panda, and you're probably thinking, Mrs. Hamilton, why would I draw a panda? I just read a story about a mouse. Wow, we're gonna think about what a panda, if we kind of like they gave a mouse a cookie, well, we're gonna give a panda a pepper, and we're gonna think of a story that we could write about giving a panda a pepper. So first off, we need to draw a panda. Now this panda, I want you to follow along with me. It's not too hard, but you do need to follow the steps with me because the steps seem kind of in a silly order. So let's see, we're gonna start up at the top of our paper. You can start wherever you are gonna write on your paper, but you need to leave some room for words at the bottom. And it starts with a circle. Just about that big. Can you guess what that's gonna be? His head. You probably are saying that. So that is his head. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish out his head. And then the next part is a little bit silly. You wouldn't think you'd draw it next, but just follow along with me. So on his head, to finish out his head, he needs 2 little ears. So those are just 2 little loops. Just like that. So draw those 2 loops on there for me. And then inside of these 2 loops, you're actually going to make another smaller loop to make it look like that's his ear. Kind of like a little half circle. So add that in there. And then now his eyes, they kind of have a black circle around his eyes, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to write that it's kind of like a sideways oval. Just watch how I do it first. Let me check. Okay. It's kind of like a slanted oval. I know that looks silly, but it'll make sense in a second. Go ahead and put those little slanted ovals on there. And then draw his nose. So his nose is a little oval right there in the middle. And then inside of these 2, they're going to be black when we color them. We need to write 2 little circles. There, that makes him look more like a panda. So add that in there. Okay, now this next part, we're actually going to draw his feet, which seems silly. You'd think you'd draw the body next, but just watch. You'll want to draw his feet first. So you're going to come down just a little bit, not a whole bunch, because he's kind of short and he kind of hunches over when he sits. And you're going to draw kind of like those ovals that you did for his eyes. They're going to be down here for his 2 feet. So draw those. They're kind of like triangles with rounded corners and not pointy ones. Right there. And then we're going to finish out his feet. So now he's got a kind of a triangle shape inside for the bottom of his heel on each one, and then he's got 3 circles to show kind of like his toes. Okay, so those are his panda feet. They're sticking out and looking at us. All right, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause it and catch yourself up, and then unpause it and finish the rest of it with me. The next part is going to be his belly and his arms. So we're going to curve out just a little bit to show his belly. Oops. And then curve down. So that's going to be like his belly or his middle part. And then his arms, we aren't going to see his arms because they're actually, or his hands, because they'll be behind his feet. So we're just going to draw 2 lines here to show that we do know that he does have arms. And then pandas have a white part on their belly. So we're going to show that white part just by putting a big loop right there. And that when we color it, that part will be white. Okay, so this is our little panda here. Now I told you that our panda was going to eat you remember? It was a pepper. Do you guys like peppers? Mrs. Hamilton, I like some peppers, but I don't like the peppers that are spicy. I'm not much for a spicy person, but we're actually gonna pretend that this panda ate a spicy pepper. So we're gonna draw our pepper right next to our panda here. And so our pepper, we're gonna think of those spicy red ones that are kind of long and skinny. So take your pencil or your whatever you're using, and you're gonna make kind of a curve line. It's gonna loop around the end, and then this part's gonna get a little bit bigger. So that's gonna be part of our pepper. And now our pepper, it's gonna have kind of a leaf at the top of it, kind of like a strawberry would. And so we're just gonna go ahead and make a leaf at the top with a stem. And then we'll color that red to show that is a red hot pepper that this panda is about to eat. Okay, so now this part is the writing part. I want you to think, if you gave a panda a pepper, what would happen? When we read about if you give a mouse a cookie, he wanted a glass of milk to go with it. If you ate a really hot pepper, what do you think you would want to do? Would you want to maybe drink something or splash something or have something cold? What are you thinking? Well, I'm going to help us get started, and then I want you to finish it on your own. I have a story I already wrote that I'm going to share with you, but I'm going to help you get started on your story so that you can think what you would like to write about. So we're going to start it just kind of like the book, and we're going to start with if. Now, if is a word that we can tap out, and I want you to write along with me. It goes if. So start with that I sound. I hope you remember that I is I, and then f is F. So I'm starting my sentence and I need a capital letter. That's very important that every sentence I write starts with a capital letter. So I. And I want you to check yourself. Did you write really, really nice and neat? because when you get to first grade, those first grade teachers will love it if you can write really nice and neat, if you know how those letters are supposed to look. So if you, use a popcorn word. We can write that one. That one's easy. Can I write it right next to the F? I hope that you just said, no way, Mrs. Hamilton, because you know how important those finger spaces are. So I'm going to put a finger space here. And then we know how to spell you. It's Y-O-U. So let's read it to make sure it makes sense. If you give, let's see, finger space, and let's tap it out. G, I, V. Now, if you're thinking, I just tapped it out, and I've got G, I, V, but you remember it didn't quite look like that in the book. You can actually, I'll give you a peek, find that word give. Do you see what's at the end of it? It's an E. It's a silent E. So let's go ahead and add that E because we know there's an E at the end. So if you give a, easy, just a. If you give a panda. So put your finger space there, and I'm going to spell out panda for you. It's P-A-N-D-A. Now that's kind of a longer one. You could have tapped it out, definitely. P-and-a. Panda. If you give a panda a, add another A in there, and then pepper. So I'm going to spell out pepper for you too so that you guys can get it on there. It's P-E-P-P-E-R. It had some extra letters in there. So let's see if you got it all. We always want to read back and make sure what we wrote makes sense and that we can read it. If we can't read it, we need to try tapping out those words again. So it's if you give a panda a pepper. Now it is up to you. If you give a panda a pepper, what do you think would happen? What do you think that panda would want to do next? I want you to think of a whole story in your head. I'm going to share with you the story that I made, and then that'll kind of help you get to thinking and get some ideas of what you want to write about. Now, you don't have to write the same thing as I did. Maybe you did have the same idea, but maybe you have a totally different idea. So I'm going to read it to you. Mine says, I used 2 pieces of paper because I had a lot of sentences. And if you look at it, there's some couple things that we always check. Does it look really nice and neat? Does my picture have colored pictures on it? Is it a really nice and neat picture that matches my story? If you listen, you'll find out it does match. So mine says, if you give a panda a pepper, he will ask for some water to go with it. The water will make him want to go swimming. So kind of like in the story about the mouse. Everything he did made him think of something else that he wanted to do. So that's what I said. I said our panda, well, he ate the pepper, so he needed some water, and the water made him want to go swimming. And I used my nice neat handwriting. I had capital letters at the beginning, punctuation at the end, which was just a period this time because I wasn't saying anything really exciting or I didn't have any questions. And then I made my picture match. I drew my panda, my pepper, and the glass of water. Now, I could have even drawn him swimming if I wanted to. Kind of like the books that we read, they have a picture for everything that happens. You could write a book on your own, and you could draw a picture for everything that you said happened in your story. I think if I kept going, when he was swimming, maybe swimming is going to make him think of popsicles, and he's going to want to have a popsicle. And then popsicle might make him think of summertime, and summertime will make him want to put sunglasses on. All of those things could have happened in my story if I kept writing. So that is for you today. I hope you have an awesome day, and I would love to see your stories about what happened when your panda ate that pepper. Awesome, guys. Have a great day. Have fun writing, and I will talk to you later.